If you're not scared of AI, then you should be. Whether you ignore it or not, AI is replacing the vast majority of manual jobs. What's a manual job? So if you go to work, so you got a government position and you press buttons for a living, data entry, a call center, anything that doesn't have so much defensibility to it, AI is going to come and do that. But what AI won't do is finish the job. You'll have to still edit it, make sure it makes sense. If you lose your job tomorrow, you don't have much time to learn a new skill. You need to have savings to give you time, a year or 2 years based on your current rate of spending. If I spend 30K a year to live, if I have 90K in savings, at least I have 3 years to figure it out, at least learn something new. Dude, I knew this 44-year-old guy who was a very basic level engineer. He thought he was going to be outcompeted, so he went and did a machine learning course online. Then he got hired as a machine learning engineer at a really high paying company. Bro was chilling. All he did was take a year to study something else, and he still had his job that entire time. That's planning. You don't spend 30 minutes to figure out your life. Surely your life's worth more than a 30-minute brainstorm. Because the problem I have is most people I know will say, look, I went to uni, they told me I was gonna get a job when I graduate, and now I've been unemployed for the last year. I'll tell you a story. I had a friend of mine, really nice kid, great attitude, very, very hardworking guy. The thing is, he studied a degree that wasn't easy to get a job in. It's one of those industries where you're only gonna get in if you know somebody. Something to do with film, where if you wanna go the traditional film route, gosh, good luck. He spent like 3 or 4 years in the degree. Now he doesn't have a job and he works in retail. It's not his fault that he's not able to get a job. He's trying, he's doing free work for people. The thing is, I get doing something you enjoy in school, but if you don't have a clear route to monetize it, you're gonna have a lot of problems. There's a very simple rule. Before you go to school and you get in debt, think about the options you have. And if things change 2-3 years down the line, or even now, let's say you're not able to get a job, upskill. By the way, if you think your job's getting replaced by AI, but you're spending every minute outside of work learning something new and want to find a job, I know hundreds of people looking to hire folks just like you. If you're interested, click the link in the description below. You need to learn something new, especially in the era of AI. I mean, gosh, there's these boring businesses that things could be done faster in. Like right now, marketing agencies will produce these campaigns and they'll charge businesses like your local coffee shop a couple thousand a month just to handle everything. Dude, you could literally sit down for 8 hours and figure that out with AI. And you don't need to spend much cost. You don't need to hire anyone. You could be making thousands a month per client. Pretty cool. For people who work a job, what are the parts getting automated away right now? Admin. Show me one person that likes doing admin work. You only do it because you have to. People who are afraid of AI right now were afraid of losing their jobs before. And in fact, maybe you just don't have high quality skills. But if you embrace it, you can literally become a superhuman. One person who knows how to use AI can do the equivalent of 10 people's jobs. Think about it this way. If you become super valuable to a company, you can earn a lot more than you would anywhere else. Instead of earning like 50K at a job where you're only worth one person, you can earn $250,000, $500,000, or even more. Think about these engineers that are being paid millions of dollars just to work at companies. You're seeing the rise of like billion-dollar businesses with less than 10 people. A lot of people think there's going to be a billion-dollar business with only one person running it. If you want to win, you don't want to be a number. You want to be worth so much to these corporations, to the point where they value you as much as 5, 10, maybe even more people, and they'll pay you just as much too. So the people who embrace AI will be super employees, and they'll get super salaries. AI is replacing jobs, but you've got to ask yourself, what side do I want to be on? Because right now there's 18-year-old grads who are accepting 40K a year jobs just to work in a cubicle. 10 years later, you'll wake up and suddenly realize, I don't want to be here anymore. Versus the 18-year-olds that learn a new skill, that learn to do something better than older folks and can earn hundreds of thousands of dollars, probably doing less work, much more fulfilled. These people are happier. And guess what? If they lost their job, they'll just find another one because they're so useful in society. But right now, a lot of working people will be cooked if AI replaced their job. They have to learn a new skill. They won't have enough money to get by every month, so what do? They downgrade, do something like retail instead of an office job. There's nothing wrong with working retail, but obviously it pays less and it takes more of your time. You're stuck instead of being able to feel yourself get stronger each time. Don't you want to feel like a superhero? Pick a side. Do you want to be the person whose job's getting replaced by AI, or do you want to be the person replacing the job? The way you learn how to use AI is to zoom out of yourself. How can you use AI to work better? Well, the first thing is you work a job so you know exactly what you do on a day-to-day basis. Here's an idea. Why not list all the things that take most of your time? Think of the tasks you don't like doing. Go into ChatGPT or some other language model and just ask it, what questions could I be asking myself? Here's how I do this task right now. Bullet point, bullet point, bullet point. Suggest 3 ways I could do it better. You want to be able to save wasting time on brainstorming. But if there's one thing AI doesn't have right now, is vibes. The closest thing is talking to ChatGPT and it responds to you a little bit chilled. When I talk to ChatGPT, he's like, yeah, bro, I can totally figure it out. Yeah, I guess It's fake vibes. Nothing beats a human at some things. One of the reasons why so many jobs are getting replaced is because working is getting a lot easier. I mean, dude, if you wanted to research some new product or a market to expand it into, in the past, you'd have to spend weeks researching, talking to people, paying people to give you that advice. Now, you literally go onto Perplexity. In just a few messages, you'll get what would have taken months before AI came around. The best way to find out what questions to ask AI is to ask it. I think there's 2 ways to not get replaced by AI. One, you learn how to be a builder. So let's say you're just someone who knows how to build systems, maintain them. Think about it in the way where factories came about. The people working on the factory floor were replaced. But the ones who had jobs were the ones who knew how to handle the technology and upgrade it, maintain it, make sure everything was okay. Those people will always have jobs. The second thing is you're in the people's business. You deal with clients that don't want to deal with anyone other than people. For example, you're a top tier lawyer that the clients will only trust. You're a banker that manages somebody's money. Interesting thing about AI, the way these models are being trained to be better are through something called data labeling, which literally means the more we use AI, the more AI probably gets capable of taking our jobs. Freelancing platforms like Upwork have seen a 40% decline in copywriting job postings, but they've seen a 50% increase for video editors. AI is literally shifting what you do to make money right now. When ChatGPT first came out, I was working an office job. I remember what used to take me 2 weeks to work on a massive market research report literally took a day. The amount of time I was saving was crazy. It literally got to a point that I was working 9-hour days in 3, having 6 hours left over to do whatever I want, or just to do better work, which meant I would do better than others and get paid more. Because if you do the work of 3 people, you'll definitely earn more than one. One point of advice is don't just learn a new skill, also make sure you have enough time financially to maybe switch roles. Because if you have 1 year of cash at your current rate of spending, if you lose your job tomorrow, at least you'll have time to try something new, learn something new, and worst case scenario, do something else. A lot of people go to events and meet folks. Let me get your LinkedIn, let me get your email. Yeah, we should go for a coffee and catch up. That's not how to network, that's not how to protect your job. This is what works. Do free work for people. If you go to an event, find people with problems that you can solve. Let's say it's a business owner. They want to use AI to do things faster, but they don't know how to do it. What do? Do some free work for them. Figure out a way to solve a very basic problem. Do what you do normally for work for them for free. They'll remember how valuable you were. And God forbid you lose your job. All you got to do is send a message and say you're on the market. I mean, I'll be pretty frank. If I lost my job today, I would find one probably by the end of the week. Only because I've spent time learning to do what I do well and also doing it for as many people as possible to prove that it works. I'm almost practicing to see if I've still got it. I'm just aura farming, trying to check if I still got motion. But the point is, if you're good at what you do, you know AI can't beat you at it. I didn't know anyone when I started. My first job was cleaning toilets. These weren't gold-plated toilets, they were brown-plated toilets. I went to events, I met people, I listened, found out what their problems were. If you go home and figure out how to use ChatGPT, you could probably find a way to solve someone's problem. Do it for them, ask for nothing. The worst thing to do is to meet someone for the first time and ask them for a job. You gotta find a way to give them a reason to hire you first. I mean, let me give an example. I met these guys, they just raised millions of dollars. And how did I meet them? At some hackathon where 18-year-olds will go to code for 48 hours non-stop. Going to a hackathon to meet someone is a great thing because no one goes there for fun. So I met these guys, they were my age. We were in our early 20s. They raised millions of dollars from investors. I mean, these guys were super technical, but they didn't know how to sell. I built a relationship with them. I would help them out for free for several years. I never wanted anything in return. It was purely trying to be a useful person to anyone who knows you. But one day they said they need a salesperson. Even with the relationship we built, years later, I didn't go and say, yeah, just hire me, I'll be all right. I went to them with a document that said, this is your problem, this is what I can do, this is what I will do in the first 3, 6, and 12 months, and this is what I want in return. I showed it to them on a call, and within 24 hours I had a job, and it was a very high-paying job, something that you'd probably need to study for 10 years just to get. And I did that in 24 hours with a bit of strategic planning. Very simple rule, be useful. And AI can only help you be more useful. So don't let AI replace you, make it work for you.